Hey guys, it's Alex with ALX Rods, and I want to talk about fiberglass crankbait rods today. All right, so let's go on ahead and get started talking about fiberglass cranking rods. There's a lot of school of thought out there between the difference of fiberglass and carbon fiber, and which one should I use, which one's better, which one should I go with. This right here is an ICO series. It's a diver. Right now, our only fiberglass crankbait rods are in the ICO series. We've got the diver and the hustler, and the diver is a 7'9" heavy. You can see I've got a pretty good sized crankbait on here today, and that's really what it's for. It's for your deep diving crankbaits. It's got a lot more power all the way up into it. You can see that it's a really thicker diameter type blank, and you're going to get that with fiberglass. So a couple things to remember. A lot of people wonder, why is a fiberglass blank always so fat? Why is it thick? There's two ways you can build a rod blank, and you can use either a thin wall and a large diameter type construction, or you can use a very small diameter, but you're going to have a very thick wall. The problem with a thick walled blank is it starts to get really heavy, and fiberglass in itself is already a little bit heavier material than carbon fiber to achieve the same type of stiffness. And so, if you think about it, when I say that, basically what I'm saying is if you wanted a strip of fiberglass to be able to withstand 10 pounds of pressure, you'd have to use more of it than you need with carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is a stiffer material, and you can get by with using less of it to achieve the same type of stiffness. Also, fiberglass has basically, in that same strain, fiberglass basically has a higher elasticity, which means it stretches more. So that's where, when you have a fiberglass rod, you get that nice buttery smooth curve. You get that nice buttery smooth feel. It's not jerky. It's just smooth as it can be. And a lot of people really do like that with fiberglass. And it's super popular with crankbaits because of the treble baits. You're running a crankbait, and that fish comes up and just hammers it. And what the fiberglass does is it actually works like a shock absorber. So because it gives more and because it's softer, or I guess not really softer, but just because it gives more, it'll load up and it'll give you the opportunity to respond to that fish, especially if you have fast reaction. If you have fast reflexes, a lot of people will rip it away from a fish before they really can hook them. And fiberglass helps with that because it's slower. When you jerk back, the glass rod doesn't react as quick as a carbon fiber rod. So that really helps you stick fish with a crankbait. Also, the thing that a glass cranking rod does is it keeps the fish buttoned up a little easier, because when a fish surges or when the fish makes a rush, if it dives, if it jumps, if it rushes the boat, it really, the rod helps you out a lot. And because what it actually does is it's slower, so it gives, so it helps keep that constant tension. So in a split second, you actually have a little bit more time with a slower gear ratio to be able to catch up to that fish and keep them buttoned up. And so that's where another reason a lot of people say that they lose fewer fish on glass rods with crankbaits is because the rod itself actually acts more as a shock absorber, and will keep the fish buttoned up, keep a little bit more tension on the line, and as opposed to a carbon fiber rod. So so that helps. Now, there are some trade-offs. A glass rod is going to be a little less sensitive. The glass that we use in both of our rods is an S glass, so it's like right around, I think, like a 12 to 15 million modulus, which is a stiffness rating. It's not a quality rating, it's a stiffness rating. So modulus does not equate quality, it equates to stiffness. And comparable carbon fiber would be like 30 million modulus, so it's about twice as stiff as fiberglass. The cool thing about the S glass in this construction is because it's a little bit stiffer, we can use a little less material, which makes the fiberglass blanks a little bit lighter than the old-timey fiberglass rods. You remember the old-time fiberglass rods weighed, it was like picking up a man and cranking him all day. I mean, they're just so big and heavy, and it just wear you out. Well, the newer glass rods aren't as heavy because it's a little bit better material, a little bit lighter material, so and it's much more effective, makes for an easier day of all-day cranking. A couple things that we like to do on our glass rods is we do like to have a longer handle. The whole concept behind that is so that I should be able to take it and tuck it up underneath my arm while I'm reeling. And to that way too, the other thing is the on your side over here is more sensitive. So when you have this split lip right here and it's touching that side, you're going to feel a lot more things. You're going to feel that crankbait tick off the grass. You're going to feel it when you're dredging it along the bottom. You know, dredging bottom with the crankbait. You're going to be able to tell when it's knocking into rock. You're going to be able to tell when it's knocking into just, you know, pulling a sandbank or a clay bank or something like that. Now, if you do need a lot of feel and you're at something where, you know, feel is just paramount and you're fishing a crankbait more like a jig, you really probably should consider a carbon fiber cranking rod. Ours have a real parabolic type bend, so they bend, our carbon fiber ones bend real deep into the blank to help keep fish buttoned up and compensate for that faster material, or a faster reacting material is how I should say it. But so in any case, that's kind of a little quick overview of glass rods. Again, our two glass rods are in the ICO series. It's the Hustler and the Diver. The Hustler's for kind of anything up to about 15 feet, and the Diver's really for anything about 12 feet and deeper. So there's a tiny little bit of overlap there, but really the Hustler is going to be more your square bills and your shallow runners. The Diver is going to really be more of all of your deep diving type crankbaits. So again, you know, guys, we're always here to help you out. If you need anything, give us a call. You know, we ship super fast if you ever order a rod, and we're also here to help you out with service. We're here to help you out pick the right rod or anything else that you might need. So talk to you soon. Look forward to the next video and seeing you out on the water.